Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Saw Logs Plastic Hubs, my humble little shop. Got a little project today that's come up. I needed some specialty parts for the race car. Now these pieces, you can buy them. I've been looking at buying them, but you know me and my penchant for making things, so we did. I've got them over here in a box. Over here. What I did is went to my local O'Reilly's Auto Parts and got front lower control arm bushings. Now these are normally got rubber in them, but this one has Delrin. I replaced it, pressed them out, machined Delrin bushings for them. That stiffens up the front suspension, takes a little bit of give out of it. So I got a full set of them made. I bought 2 sets of bushings. Went and bought one set to figure out how to do it, went back and bought the other. So you know how that is. I had a whole different idea before I started. So basically you're going to see a little bit of lathe work. I'm not going to show you pressing the rubber in and out of the bushings and everything together. Basically what we did is push the rubber out, machined the Delrin to fit inside the metal shells, and used stock bushings. Not the stock sleeves which fits the bolts. That way it's basically a reproduction item, except this, you know, it's actually UMHW what I put in them. So I hope you enjoy the little machining project, and I'll come back and tell you bye at the end. So I hope I haven't been in the shop much. We're still working on a race car actually, so trying to get some stuff done. When it gets back, we put on race car parts. These things are too darn expensive, and we're going to create a sub out of. We got plenty of Delrin or plenty of plastic. What I'm going to do here is we're going to make some bushings. The first thing I'm going to do is face this off. Then we're going to turn this where it presses inside of this, just like the original. In fact, we're going to turn it to step. We're going to turn it just a little small where it'll pass through, stick out somewhat, and what we're going to do is make a plastic piece to replace this bushing here. So I guess the first thing I need to do is decide what I need to turn this to. Okay, now I'm turning to the next dimension. This should put this where to push in. We're going to trim this up and drill it and all that stuff too. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this. I'm going to probably put this together and then put the hole in it within the bushing. Get all that on one plane after I get done. Okay. All right, that looks good there. Now we just got to cut the relief. What I've done is I went ahead and assembled it and it's pressed together. This way, the rest of the stuff will be machined in the same plane as the bushing. I'm just going to drill this to 1/2 inch to get a hole through it. We're probably going to have to bore it. It's not going to be the ideal, but we'll probably go ahead and cut some of the plastic off here in a minute. So we get it bored through, get a hole in it, which I should have probably already did, but I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, slow the lathe down, cut it off, and then finish drilling it through. or at least cut this knot off here, because what I'm going to do is bore this, press the bushing in, line it up, and then put it back in the lathe and face it more or less off. Facing off to the length that'll work. Then I get this one made, I'll turn around and just do the same process to redo the second one. Then I'll go buy another bushing kit from the auto parts store and make 2 more. If I had an old set, would be ideal. These things are about $35, $40 a set. So all we got to do now is we'll take the boring part and we'll bore it to fit the boring part we got, the bushing. Right now we're boring it out. Now like I say, there's a method to the madness here. And the reason I'm doing it this way is so I can fit everything up perfectly. Because we got a long way to go. It's like 3/4 of an inch worth of bore. This has got to be bored out just to shade around this is shade under 3/4. So we're at about 6:30 now. I'll get the indicator set up and we'll go from there. I'll get set up and we'll get this thing. And here I'm just spacing this off, but I'm going just a little bit at a time till I get her down there to where I'm cleaning up. So three passes here. I'm just trying to kind of work it down there until I get that bushing cleaned up to that bushing. There we go, I'm getting closer now. Alright, let me see how much I like. Okay, there's my bushings. Made right up. Made right out. And what I done was just, like you said, press the rubber out and made Delrin spacers you see me machining. So now I've got a full set for the race car as we get it back from the guy who's working on it. Fixing the front end, we're going to put new A-arms on it and lowers, and that's a set of bushings right there made right up for. All I done is went to the parts house, got the stock ones and modified. Say those were probably $40, $50. Those are about $40 a piece or $50, I think. Well, I made them for peanuts. Good morning. Welcome to Sawlogs Plastic Hubs version of Everett's Workshop Sketchy Setups. This is a racing job, not for me. What you're looking at is a Mustang spindle. And If anybody's ever worked on a Ford Motor Company product, they're going to know what I'm fixing to say. They change stuff. So, one of my friends, there's two different size strut widths. But the struts that they really want to use that's easier to find for the race cars has got a big shaft that has to be thin here. But a lot of these spindles are thick right in here. So, I've been tasked with making this one a thin one. I've got two of these to do. So, what we're doing, and let me stop a minute, I already got an issue. But what we're doing is this sketchy setup. It's going in here and milling off a little bit of material. And I'm going to go back, I'm going to actually do this. So what I'm having to do is we got to take something like, I think 100 something thousandths off of this. Well, to get this to work like we want it to, and they've done these before rather crudely, I'm going to say. So, that's a little bit thick right there that I don't want to, but I'm going to go ahead and get it in here very carefully and square this off. This is just my first cut. What I got to do is I'm going to have to come back and then literally blend this stuff. So I'm going to get me a brush, I'll bring you back. I'm making another pass, and what I'm doing, you'll notice I'm having to stop. What I'm actually doing is I'm going to have to reclamp and cut this other section out last. So it's just the only way I can get through this. And if this isn't got to be, all we got to do is bolt the strut down on it, so it doesn't have to be dead perfect, but we're trying to get it the size. And it's, I mean, they've taken these things and ground them with a blooming hand grinder. So you know they ain't done good and well if they've done something like that. It don't have to be perfect. Now, this is going to be my last page before I reclamp. What my strategy is going to be when I reclamp is I'm just going to come in here and put the clamp, whoa, I hit the hole, board. Two struts bolt too. Then I'm going to go down here and mill off all that excess there. Now I'm going to have to blow off and reclamp. Okay, here goes. I'm taking light cuts on purpose because As you can tell, this ain't helped well. Since this ain't, if it's a little bit not perfect flip, just don't bend. I want it to, I can always come back. Okay, good. Well, folks, that's the first one done. Okay, that's this is the other side. Obviously, you got a right and a left. It's a little bit different to get it, but we got it. I'm going to explain something. Now, this is not going to be perfect because, you know, you're going to have all kind of variations. But basically, all this has got to do is for a strut arm clamp to. So, once that strut arm, really, it's got the 2 bolts and stuff, it clamps to it. So, we got everything all sprung around on all this stuff, held down, sprung, you name it, it's in there. But that's one more, that's a completed one. That's the other one for them. So they've got 2 now. I'm going to deburr this. I hope you enjoyed little machining projects. It's not a long one, not much to it. Just a little bit of playing with the Delrin. My friend Harold says I'm the king of Delrin. I don't know about that, but that's just my way to adapt bushings, save me a few bucks, and use some Delrin that I have. This is a copyright production of James Dedman Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I know I hadn't been doing much machining lately, but we've been extremely busy with our racing. I think you've heard me even mention that. I have even missed a week's slop last couple of weeks because of this being tied up. We are right now not racing because we had a little accident in our cars in a local builder's having the front end redone. And it's a little more than we can tackle with our stuff, so we had to send it out. And hopefully we'll get it back in the next week, 10 days. But our local track's not racing this weekend, so that's a positive thing too. Big show down the road. So with all that being said, I've had a little bit of shop time. This has cropped up something I needed to do right then and there, so I'm getting ready. I'm probably going to do the same thing, some rear bushings, I get a chance. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. If you're interested in machining, I'll try to keep some of it going. I'm going to put most of the racing stuff will be all in car. I'm not going to do weak track crap. I think it's just the in car is good enough. It's just something I like to do, and it actually benefits us too. So with all that being said, hope you enjoyed today's video. See you in the very next video. Have a great day.